Okay, Toby, welcome. Welcome everyone to our ICE webinar this week. We've got the lovely Toby Lewis from the live group who will be discussing creating your digital twin and basically what that is. So basically, welcome Toby. Thank you so much for agreeing to attend.
Thanks for having me.
Kind of like the theme for today. My name's Anita Howard. I'm one of the co-founders of ICE. We have a lovely chat area, so this is just a conversation between Toby and myself, and please join in as if we were all together in a lovely space, which we will do soon, I'm sure. So Toby, I really got so excited the other week to actually see the presentation about digital twinning. So what is the digital twin and why was it created?
Yeah, thanks. Our digital twin is a strategy, and it was originally created because we've noticed two huge trends in the industry over the last decade forming. One is the kind of an evolution of audience type. So we've been around for 45 years, and it's only been recently that the audience nature has changed from your kind of very much middle-aged white male, and new generations of audience are coming through, and we were noticing that those people want to watch content in a different way. They want to engage in different ways. They don't necessarily all want to go to the live event element, and some of them might want to watch remotely. And so we started a strategy, firstly, to deal with a different change of audience, something we can't control, but we can form the strategies.
Yes.
And the second big thing we noticed was the ever increasing scrutiny on things that affected the environment detrimentally. So we do know that events in their entirety are really not great for the environment. Certainly, if you've got a lot of people flying or traveling in, staying in hotels, away from the office, and you've got large temporary event structures going up, which are in the majority thrown away afterwards. And so the strategy was really looking at the way that the event industry was going to become under the microscope over the next few years.
Okay, interesting.
What's happened, what we thought was going to be a strategy that we produced and rolled out over 3 to 5 years seems to have rung true for this very rapid kind of disaster pandemic that we're looking at now, and it's taken about 3 to 5 weeks to be deployed and fully adopted by a number of our clients.
Yeah. And so what does this digital twin look like? So I certainly will always be running a digital twin with an event that
I can share a few slides with you, and I'll rattle through these quite quickly. And I know it's a lot to take in, but I'll go through them as quick as I can.
Yeah.
So a digital twin is really a strategy around a normal physical event, and I think most people would agree that this here is a standard, a one-day event: arrival, opening, keynote speaker, coffee and break, networking, maybe lunch, break out into workshops, and come back for a closing address, and everyone goes home.
Yeah.
At the moment, in this very short period of time, for clients in March, April, May, we are adding a broadcast stream where much of the physical event can't happen. People can't congregate in any type. So we are almost replicating what would be done at the live event onto a broadcast stream.
And do you think that's called a hybrid event? Is that what we imagine as a hybrid event?
No, at best this is a webcast.
Okay.
At best this is a webcast, and it's okay for now, but once the market is saturated with things like this, people will get very, very tired very quickly with this. And then I would say it is dangerous to think that we can just take event content and put it for a remote online audience and expect them to sit there for a lot of the day and be engaged. So moving forwards, and with clients we're working with now, towards the end of May, June and July, we are putting in this third stream, which is the data stream. It is where I think everyone would be talking about a platform, and that's where we can start doing a lot of pre-event activity here, post videos, delegate management systems, start profiling delegates and having certain delegate types marrying up with others so they can start conversations going beforehand. Workshops, it's great to get workshop leaders to do some activities pre-event. So that means the workshop can be a little different for that online audience. And really, this stream is so the online stream is as good as it possibly can be. And we're not trying to cram everything into one day. We could actually be making things spread over maybe a month or a month and a half from the beginning of what we're now going to be terming the event when the registration opens, all the way through to the end. And when this works really nicely, and when we've got a little bit of time, not a huge amount of time, and like I've said, we've got a big one of these happening in June, and we've had 4 weeks to manage this. We end up coming with something like this. And right now, yes, it will be mostly digital, but in future, we will be able to meet in small audiences. And so there will be this pre-event hub, lots of activity going on here. And we can actually now, if we're talking about a longer term, maybe September onwards, we can consider the fact that there may be a live element, whether that's 50 people in one room or groups of 10 people meeting in meeting rooms, linking up together, and an online audience as well. So this enables us to plan future events with confidence. And I will drop a buzz term in here. This, done properly, is what I believe the new normal of events will be, because if you look at the difference between that and that, I think people who have gone and experienced an event like this and be able to navigate through the content the way they want it and what they want to see, when they want to see it, and then when the live event happens, they can choose to go to that live event, or they can choose to watch online, and they don't feel like second-class citizens at all because they're not actually at the live event. I believe this is the way that we're going to hit the two nails on the head that I mentioned before about different audience types and environmental impact. When we can all meet again, we're still going to go down this route.
Yeah, I know for us, we're at ICE, this is very much, I find this quite exciting that we've actually managed to extend our messaging and everything else so much more to a community. So yeah. I think it's very much the norm. I mean, wouldn't run an event without it now.
Yeah. The digital twin actually looks a bit like this. So we provide an architecture for our clients, and this is after we've done a mini online discovery session, really understanding the full objectives of the event, what we want to measure, what you want to get out of it, what your stakeholders want to get out of it, and what, and most importantly, your audience want to get out of it. And so we can then refine the physical event to work with this stream here, which is the digital twin. And this is a digital replica of this physical stream here. And what this enables us to do is take different disruption scenarios moving forwards. And this is how we cost up for some of our clients. So we can cost up the formation of the digital twin. We then give them 2 scenarios based on when their event are going to occur. So someone with an event in September, we can suggest that we'll do a hybrid event approach where the hub is still the same. But you may have some people meeting in very small groups, maybe in their offices, and other people meeting online. And the last one would be a proper disruption scenario where we are now back and we can't meet in maybe groups of 2 or 1. And this is where we actually revert to what I think is going to happen lots more, is where you have a small studio and you stream out of a live broadcast studio to your online audience. Yeah. And that's kind of the step up from where we are now, which I think we'll be able to sustain. And we're actually investing in our own studio and working with a number of venues around the country to build studios inside those venues.
Yeah. And I think what's very interesting about this model, like it's an extension of the previous one, but you've actually got a lot more content and you've got different scenarios. So I think one of the big things for all of us as event planners is that whole strategy behind how do you actually solve the problem. We can't just keep saying to our stakeholders, oh, we don't know, we'll come back to you. We need kind of a strategy, because they really do need to, connect with their audiences. They can't simply go, no, we're not doing it. There's got to be a strategy in place to get things back on track.
Yes, and actually, some of the early adopters of this model here were brand new clients which we would never have worked with in any other scenario, and these are other event agencies who have a paid-for event program. And they were very concerned about their sponsors and exhibitors and paid delegates not feeling like they were getting a bang for their buck. Yeah. And as soon as I had got to this level, I said, well, why do you think you should be charging any less? If last year you did that, and this year you did that, where we're talking about a broader range of content over a much longer period of time. Yeah. And if all the exhibitors and sponsors can have a presence on the hub and the platform pre-event and post-event, surely they should be paying more. And I always get a wry smile from the chief executive when I say that. I think it is, in the new model, something that we could consider looking to add value to sponsors and exhibitors, because they are getting a lot more.
Yeah, no, really interesting. And just from our community base, a lot of the events are internal, but external. Some of them are, but not paying. It's just, I think that strategy of getting an agency, which is what I think a lot of corporates are doing, very important to build up this digital twin scenario. So you've got a strategy for the next thing that happens, because remember, it was the dust cloud and everything else. So I think this kind of strategy to actually build content is so important. We've just got a question here from Al, just regarding, how are the delegates engaging the speakers with this kind of thing? Is it looking good? Are they starting to do this engagement piece now with it?
In terms of delegates,
speakers, vice versa.
Yes, I think what we're allowing delegates to do is feel normal. feel normal. So a lot of our kind of pre-event stuff, it feels quite standard. It feels like what they're used to. So the delegate management system is similar to what they're used to, whether they're going to the physical or live event or digital event. The new stuff that delegates can do pre-event, they are adopting quite quickly, because I think, and this is why I'm excited, they are used to this. They are used to searching for stuff and downloading and watching video and content without necessarily being in a big room full of other people. And they're also they're getting used to commenting and being okay about commenting under their own name. So pre-COVID, yes, we did do some pre-event activities and videos and content, but there wasn't a great reluctance from certain audience types to engage, and now they are.
Because obviously, we've had to think differently about how ICE is going to be delivered, but this whole thing of building it beyond, it's given so much value. Do people actually get this now?
They do, if they follow the right process in the discovery session.
Yes.
Because what we're all used to managing is to traditional events, and we know our audience, and we know what our audience wants to feel when they are at our event and when they leave our event. But when you ask those questions and you strip your event right back to its bare bones, and you ask, why do you do those workshops? What is the outcome of that you want to try and achieve? What is the opening ceremony all about? And actually, when you strip it all back, it's incredible what gets discarded. And just go, well, I don't know why we've done that. We've just did it for the last 5 years. We haven't really changed it. And then what is new and interesting? And so at the very least, what we provide is an incredibly enhanced physical form of your event.
Yeah.
that also works for the online audience as well.
Yeah, and this will now just be built into people's strategy, isn't it? This is what I think this is what's exciting for the market, is that we can build these things into our strategies to make a big different market out there, isn't it?
Yeah, and especially if you've got a series of events.
Yes.
The exciting thing about this is, and I think it's the biggest hurdle for event professionals to get over, is that perhaps we're just not going to do a 1-day event or a 2-day event each year. We might do 10 very small events, 2 of which have a physicality objective and actually bring people together.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the 8 are online things. So I think we've got to think we've got to think differently about the event strategy over a longer period, because, obviously on the hub, on the hub, you can actually keep the event strategy going again and again and again, and then you refresh the live element and the webcast element.
Right. Okay. Can I ask, just if you were to give one top tip to the audience that's online at the moment to actually create a digital twin, what would be the first stage that you would actually, suggest people look at?
Go back to first principles thinking. Go right back to first principles thinking. Get in your senior stakeholders of your event. Speak to your audience of your event in past years, and actually strip it right back to the core objectives. Why are we running this?
Yeah.
And build it up from there. And we have a discovery session cheat sheet, which I'm happy to share with people afterwards. But it takes you through those questions, and I think once you've built that up, and you're then comfortable with what the event should be moving forwards, you can then, without thinking about platforms and webinars and virtual this and hybrid that, let's get your content really, really good first, and what you want to say and how you want people to feel when they leave.
Yeah.
And then we could talk about platform you might use, and how you might engage, and what kind of webinar thing you use, and cameras, and where your speakers might join and why they're joining. Because I think what people are doing at the moment is there's a little bit of, I don't want to say panic, because we don't panic, we're event people, but what there is a little bit of trying to replicate exactly what we've done before in previous events online to an online audience. And that's not going to work.
Yeah. And I think that, when you said the word scared thing, that is a really interesting thing, because although as event organisers, we have got massive transferable skills, because we are used to project management and everything else, is that we don't necessarily have to be the specialist in joining the dots together. Once we've got our strategy together, it can be built out, and obviously people are there to help, build the technology, because you do get worried about it, don't you?
Yes, and we've got our own team of project managers, all of whom are very comfortable with in the past running traditional events, and when we've had digital elements, those bits have always gone to the digital team, and they've always gone, oh, that's your bit, I'll run the physical bit, and you. But now I've had to take them through the digital twin, and actually I've gone through every single part of the infrastructure. And I've asked them, which bits here are you not confident in doing? And actually for a logistical person, pulling together maybe 10 speakers to do some pre-recorded video, that's logistics. You mean you don't have to record the video yourself, but you have to make sure they're all available at the right times, at the right place. And then once the video is made, then you can start sticking it up. So there's almost a greater role for event professionals, but we have to look at it over a longer period of time. It's not all going to concertina up into a 1 or 2 day event as we know and love. It's going to spread over maybe a month or 2. That's where I think the new normal. Oh heck, I'm just gonna stop saying that. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I know there's a new job role being created in corporate organisations at the moment, which is the virtual event planner, and so that they can basically be the go-to person who starts understanding it, because we're almost becoming broadcasters at the moment. That will change.
Yes.
I think that skill is really, really needed, to build this and the strategy behind it as well.
Yeah. Well, digital producer.
Yes. Yeah.
So we have 3 in-house producers.
Yes.
2 of them are digitally focused, but then we would go to freelancers if we needed to.
Yeah.
Producers can turn their mind quite quickly to the digital world, and quite successfully. And it's worth remembering, every single one of your speakers are going to want to have some help re-engineering their presentation for a potentially a remote audience.
Yes.
And as we progress through this, they may even have a small live audience.
Yes.
Groups of audiences around the country, and people watching on their own at home. So they've got 3 audiences to engage with.
Yeah.
And that's where the digital producer can come in and make sure that everyone is engaged in exactly the same way. Yeah. And no one feels like they're getting a second-class ride.
Absolutely, we don't want this. Now we're coming close, so I've got a couple of questions. Obviously, if anyone wants to post any more questions, I've got a couple here from earlier. Is when you actually are creating the digital twin strategy, is that does it take days and days to do, or is it something that is done quite in a reasonable time?
It really depends on the event. We're doing quite successful sessions with our clients, discovery sessions in 2 hours. We're doing those, and then we can go away, and it's not a big spoiler, but once you've done a number of different digital twin structures,
yeah,
you start seeing that there are trends. So your event, it's about celebrating success. There is a digital twin for a celebrating success model. There are going to be nuances in your event, but actually you've got a good starting point, and then you can customize it. So we've now got to think about 10 different digital twin models, and we can then start categorizing them, and then find out which bits of work better than others. And over time, those models will be more and more refined. So if you're a client and you come to me and say, "Oh, I've got an awards ceremony," I know that I'm going to go to this model and then refine it for you. So now at the moment, it's a relatively maybe 3 or 4 days worth of planning.
Yeah.
But further down the line, it's going to be much more. It's going to be quicker.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. It's just, it's that whole thing, time element, to make sure that it's starting from the beginning. I think, as you said earlier, is making sure the reasons why, and you can build the strategy out from there. Now, look, I think we're running out of time now. So if we've got any more questions, well, I'd like to say thank you so much for your time today. Absolutely amazing, Toby. That was brilliant.
Pleasure.
If it's okay, I will share your details with the audience as well, just in case anyone wants to get in contact to talk further with you. But thank you very much, everyone else, for attending. Have a fantastic weekend, and happy VE Day. And we will see you all again soon. We've got another webinar next week, which we'll be sending out tomorrow. Anyway, take care and a very successful weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.